We will start with some open string and bar chord rhythm. And then move into some intermediate lead guitar. But the magic really happens when we combine these two elements together. I will break this video up in 3 different sections. Section 1 is beginner to intermediate rhythm guitar techniques with diagrams. Section 2 will be some intermediate pentatonic soloing, but targeting some chord tones within that pentatonic scale. And Section 3, where the magic happens, we will look at some advanced ways to combine rhythm guitar and lead guitar together. You won't want to miss this. Grab your guitar and let's get right into it. All right, we're going to look at this little wing chord progression. This has been covered by so many great players. E minor, G5, I like to use that voicing, A minor, back to E minor, B minor, A minor, C, then G, F, C, D major. Then the progression starts over again. So we want to create a groove with these chords. It's easy to do with a backing track, but you should be able to do this on your own. I'm kind of using the low note, the bass note, as a kind of a bouncing back and forth to create a groove here. So what you don't want to be doing is straight up and down strumming on this. A great way to get the groove going is hitting the low note on each chord. So 1 time, 2 times, and strumming after each one of those. So this is a basic groove using these open string chords, and you can easily work up to the bar chords. But coming up shortly, I'm going to show you how to really do some advanced things with these chords up the fretboard here. If this lesson is helpful, thanks so much for all your support. So let's look at soloing over these chords. So all those chords are in the G major family except for the F chord. But we're only on that chord for a couple beats. You don't really have to worry about that, like trying to target it. So E minor and G major share the same notes, so we can use E minor pentatonic over this. It fits like a glove. So you could easily improvise just with that scale, but we want to at least acknowledge those chords as they go by and try to target one note for each chord, you know, either hammering onto it, sliding up to it. There's a lot of different ways to look at it. So the E minor chord is right within the center of the E minor pentatonic scale. The next chord is G. A chord tone in the G is a B. I really like just hammering onto that. And it'd be the 14th fret of the A string is that B. And then we're coming up to A minor, hitting the A note, which is in the 12th fret of the A string. Just walking down chromatically. This has a great bluesy sound. So I'm just hitting the 12th fret of the G and B strings, bending slightly. Then walking down chromatically, 14, 13, 12. Fits over the A minor chord like a glove right there. Just back to E minor pentatonic. Then it's coming up to the B minor chord. Really targeting that B note here. We're looking at the 16th fret of the G string. There's a little piece of a B minor chord here. You don't necessarily have to look at it that way. But 16 and then 15 on the B string is a D note, which is in that chord also. It's walking down to A minor. I did a little double stop lick. So barring here in the 12th fret of the G, B, and E strings, but I'm adding this 14th fret note on the G string, which is an A, and then pulling off to those three notes. Slow. Has a great bluesy sound there. You almost can't go wrong using the E minor pentatonic here. Just don't snap up and down. This is a slow groove. Just take your time with it. You can just get back to home base. So here is the core of the lesson today. This is where the magic happens when we mix rhythm guitar and lead guitar together. A great way to start doing this is to use some bar chords instead of the open string chords. Using E minor here and G here. A minor, back to E minor, B minor, A minor, C, then G, F, C, D, and D here. Then back to E minor. Using these voices really helps you get around the fretboard for one thing, but if you slightly connect the pentatonic scale, the E minor pentatonic, with those chord fragments there, it creates a great bluesy sound. So creating movement around those little chord fragments, that is the key. Just taking the E minor here, pulling the 3 fingers off, hitting the center 4 strings here, and then hammering back on. Then the G chord. You want to slide up from 12 to 14 on the A string. It hits another B note, which is in the G chord. Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan used that little slide up all the time. Back to A minor. And this, you can take that and hammer on. So you want to stay barred here on the G and B strings in the 5th fret, hammering on to the 7th fret of the G string. And then you can bar the D and G strings doing the same thing. And then hitting the E, 7, 5, then you're back to the E chord. And then the B minor. You can just add your pinky here on the 10th fret of the E string, add it on the 9th. Then it's walking down chromatically to the A minor, and then going to C briefly, then going up to G. You can just hit the 2 notes on the D and B strings, 9 and 8 on the B string. You can slide that whole little shape there to F, which would be 7 to 6. Then it's going to C. That same move. It's just sliding up to the piece of the C chord here from 5 to 7. Then the D chord's coming up. You can do the same thing from 7 to 9. Then I'm looking at this next triad here. Sliding up to it. 11 on a G, 10 on the B string. But then I'm hitting a D2 chord. This gives it a little flair there before it goes back to the E minor again. These are just some ideas that you can really take any chord on any song or any progression, use these chord fragments, and just create movement around those fragments. I had so much fun making this video today. This tune is just a staple when people get together and jam. Little Wing is one of the tunes that come out because you can really improvise a lot of different things over this kind of track. Let me know if the lesson's helpful. Thanks so much for hanging out, and let's talk soon.